I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Melody.
And today we're taking a look at a game called Drop It. No, I'm not. Yes. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, well, this game is a game that I saw when I was at the GAMA trade show. And as soon as I saw it, I was intrigued. I played a game a long time ago called Batik, B-A-T-I-K. And in this game, you dropped these geometric shapes in between two glass pieces. I don't know if you ever played that. And if you made it stick out at the top, you lost. This is not quite like that. This, you're dropping in shapes and trying to score points based on how you drop them. Let me show you. So in Drop It, each player is going to have their own color. If you play with two players, you can each have two colors each. You could also play on teams. Each color has 3 wooden round pieces, 2 round squares, 2 parallelograms, and 2 triangles, as well as a scoring piece on a scoring track over here. You're going to have a board like this that you are going to be playing on. This board, you're going to be dropping in these pieces on the side. There's an alternate way where you can drop in color ones instead, and then you'll place these pieces here on the bottom. One player has chosen to go first, and on a player's turn, they're simply going to pick one of their shapes, and they're going to drop it down in the bottom. Now, when you drop a shape in here, you're going to see how many points it's worth. So there's a couple things that determine points. First of all, your shape cannot touch any other shape. It can't touch any other, it can't touch its same color. I'm sorry, your shape can't touch the same shape. So a square can't touch any other square. This blue square can't touch any other blue piece. It also, if it's in the bottom, can't touch this area where there's a square, and it can't touch this wall here between these two lines. So it's in the 1 section here, so it's worth 1 point. Had it been touching this circle here, that would have been an additional 2 points. There's a big circle worth an additional 1, medium circles worth an additional 2, and small circles worth an additional 3. So once it's there and once you score points, it doesn't matter if it moves into a spot which might make it be worth no points. Once it lands, you score your points for that, and then the next player goes. So maybe the green player drops in a trapezoid like this. And again, we look here at them, and they have scored 1, and it hasn't touched that circle, so simply 1 point. The yellow point drops a square in, and that square is now up into the second row, almost at the 3rd line here. So it's 2 points, plus it's touching the circle. That's going to be 4 points. The red player says, I'll do that too. They drop in a square. But the red player, even though normally the red player would get 3 points plus 2 for touching that circle, 5, it's a square touching a square, therefore it's worth nothing. The blue player decides to drop in this trapezoid, which is nothing because it touches another trapezoid, and it's touching this wall here, which says no trapezoids. The green player drops in a ball here, which is in the 2 area. So it's just going to get 2 points. And that's how you play. You can see as you get higher and higher, you're going to get more points as you go up. And like I said, you can replace these with the colors on the wall. That just means those particular colors can't touch those walls. You can also flip this here and make it so certain colors can't touch certain areas on the bottom either. That's it. Once everyone has placed all their pieces, then you see who has the highest score. The scoreboard itself, you're going to keep track as you move around here. Once you pass 25, you'll take a token of your color that says 25, flip it when you pass 50. You can also play with a variant where each person can get rid of one of these smiley faces. If you break a rule and you get no points, you can say, no, I'm getting points. So you give these up to get some points, but if you don't use these, at the end of the game, each of them is worth 3 points. Now, a couple weeks ago, I played this against the internet. Melody played for the internet side. Against me, and the internet won by accident. Do you feel like there's skill in this game?
Not really. Like, I guess you could figure out where it goes, but it bounces a lot, so.
See, okay, I wasn't expecting you to say not really. I actually think there is a lot of skill involved.
Sometimes, but it just depends on which ones you can play. You just go by that.
Well, that's true. I think, though, that you're trying to pick the best piece to drop in the right spot. Sometimes it's obvious. And sometimes it's not so obvious. And sometimes it looks like no matter what piece you drop where,
it's not going to work.
You're not going to score any points. But you never know. I've seen a circle land on top of another circle and stay there.
I saw one that went up a ramp and stayed on like a point.
Yeah, that's really neat. And also, I've seen it where you drop it in and you know you're safe, and then it pushes some blocks aside and touches another color and you're out. It's not that complex of a game. It sounds more complex. Like you can't touch another color, you can't touch the same shape, you can't touch the wall, you can't touch the bottom. But those are simple rules, and everyone watches every single piece, and they will instantly tell you if you've messed up or not.
Yes.
Now, do you like the variant where you can score anyway twice per game for the losing to 3 points?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I guess it does work for some people, especially if they get unlucky and just keep accidentally hitting it's usually their own piece.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to get like 8 or 9 points, right? So you're giving up 3, so you get 5 or 6 points. That might be worth it, especially near the end. So maybe sometimes you can just drop one in and say, I'm just going to drop it in, and I know it's a bad spot. I think it adds a slight bit of strategy to the game.
Yeah.
The game also works really well as teams. It works well 2-player. You each have 2 colors. It works well 4 players. This is one of those games that I think if you set it up and people come by, they're going to just want to play.
Yeah.
Really easy. This is a game that I think you taught this without me being around.
Yeah.
How did it go over?
It went really well. It's really easy to teach. As soon as you get through all the confusion of the side scoring things, that doesn't mean the entire row. It's just if it touches the wall.
Right.
Because the lines do kind of throw people off a little bit because they think, oh, if it's the square is in this section because it has a no square, that means it doesn't count.
Yeah, but that'd be really bad if you put with the color ones. No reds in this section. By the way, I prefer to play with the shapes, sides and bottoms, rather than the colors. So you said it was not so hard to teach?
Because if it's colors, there's not much to do about the shapes. Except, like, you can't touch the same shapes. It's the same shapes when you drop them in, but that's it.
Maybe if I put in a color on one side and a shape on the other? I never did try that. But I've played this game a lot so far.
Yes.
The box says 30 minutes, but your game will be probably slightly faster than that. But you'll find that people will sit there and they'll go, And they'll think carefully about where they place the stuff in it. So overall, I liked it. What would you rate it?
Probably like a 7.
I agree, but it's a strong 7 for me. No, you know what? No. I'm ranking this an 8. And I'll tell you why. Because this game has that factor that people see and they're like, this is a really good game. They like dropping into pieces. It's fun. It's almost like Plinko, boom, boom, boom. And it just falls down there. It's easy to explain. The shapes are different. Sometimes miraculous stuff happens and everyone gets excited. Everyone likes to laugh when someone gets a 0. It's easy to catch up. You might be really far behind and suddenly they start messing up and the other person, again, to watch our live playthrough, to watch that happen. But for me, I really like this one. Any other thoughts on it? There's not a lot we can say, really. It's dropping pieces in.
Yeah, that's basically it. Just maybe the score pad's just a bit meh, but that's it.
Yeah, okay, the score pad's meh. But it doesn't matter because the game's more about the actual thing.
Yeah.
Set this up. If you own a store, put this up in your store and people are going to buy it for sure. That is Drop It. I'm Tom Vasel.
And I'm Melody.
And you've been watching Double Trouble.
Boom!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.